Oh, you can use banshees. What's that silent thing? Yeah, focus. Yeah.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Acer Premier League 2019 Sri Lankan Qualifiers LAN event here at the Hilton Column Residences. And of course, the entire tournament is done by Acer, and then we have our partners, the Predator, their main gaming brand Predator, as well as Intel coming on board. And of course, the tournament itself is featuring a prize pool of 800,000 rupees. That is the biggest prize pool that we have had for Dota 2 in Sri Lanka. And of course, not forgetting the winners will be representing Sri Lanka in Thailand for the main event, where they will be going up against some of the top teams in Southeast East Asia. So a lot of things happening. We do have our first match, which is going to be starting shortly. It is going to be Phoenix Gaming Team Indomitus taking on Bedtime Samurais from Nubaland. It's going to be one exciting day of Dota 2 here at the LAN event. And of course, we do have our two casters as well, who will be taking you all through the play-by-play. And I would like to hand over the proceedings to them. We have Azman and Nightblade taking you through the play-by-play for the first semi-final here at the Acer Premier League 2019 Sri Lankan Qualifiers.
All right, thank you so much, Terror. So we're getting into the semifinals against Bedtime Samurais as well as Indomitus. Joining me as my co-caster, it will be Abdul Nightblade. Basit, Abdul, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine here, and just in a bit we'll get into the game here once I can.
Yeah, so just waiting to get into the game. So right now we have some really high tier gameplay to be had for sure. I think NA Bedtime Samurais have done a really good job getting to the semifinals, and PNX Indomitus probably one of the favorites to win the whole tournament itself, having some remarkable players, a full team of at least Adlock, and not even at least, they actually have a full team of Immortals. So that's going to be definitely interesting. I think a lot of the deciding factors will come from the draft, so we'll be getting into that a little bit shortly. But what are your expectations for the game, Abdul?
It looks like it's going to be super interesting. I mean, both teams really well over the past few tournaments. Bedtime Samurai is unfortunately in SLCG losing a little bit early, but they have still been playing really well even in the games that they did lose. So it'll be pretty exciting to see how this match turns out.
Yeah, definitely. I think it'll be very interesting to see how the game turns out. It's going to be interesting to see how the drafts do come in. I mean, recently we did see the minor happening, and we saw a lot of interesting picks as well as some constant and stable picks coming out in terms of heroes like Lich, Earth Spirit, and then you also have certain picks like Chen being taken just to counter Beastmaster, like you said, and then we also have, you have. I believe it was Razor to counter Troll Warlord, because Troll has been pretty strong in the patch just because of the fact that the ult change, even though you can't control the hero, just having that ability to be invulnerable for the duration of the ult is definitely something that you can abuse quite well.
Yeah, I mean, Troll just being so strong this patch, and then just finding a way to deal with him in this patch is a nice way to put a touch in. Especially watching the professional games these days have been very exciting. The past few days has been the Bucharest, and it's been so exciting to see how pro players are using heroes that we thought are not that good, like Earth Spirit. I thought that hero was kind of nerfed, but apparently he's so good, and Stun's really strong apparently with the role, since he's has high strength gain.
Yeah, I mean, I think you mentioned that he did change the strength gain on Earth Spirit, and I think that definitely like it makes a it makes quite a big impact, just because of the fact that small changes are what make that early game very, like, you can make it or break it kind of, and that strength gain for Earth Spirit, just being able to get that brown boots into double bracer makes him so extremely tanky, and giving him the ability to kind of just go in and to like basically tank a lot of spells for the team, and allowing either the mid lane or the safe lane to grab that kill. Has a lot of high mobility, obviously, with that low cooldown on the roll, so you can stun for quite a long time. You do have the slow and the silence as well. You have magnetize, which is one of his most strengths, just because of the fact that when people are affected by magnetize and you do stun one, everyone else just gets stunned. So that's a nice synergy you get there. And Lich has been another extremely strong hero with that frost shield, if I'm not mistaken. Frost shield has been one of those really strong spells used especially during the laning stage, just to mitigate a lot of damage and give usually passive laners ability to be a bit more aggressive, just because of the fact that you have that pulse hitting damage, which really helps. So other than that, I think there are a few other heroes that you can obviously talk about. Invoker being one of those really versatile. I don't know. I feel like Invoker is strong. The laning stage is a bit weak, but if you do want to have a decent laning stage, you can always go for that Crosswix, which is a really good aggressive early game option that you have. Then the TA has been strong for a while. Puck has been played a few games in and out, but I haven't seen that much of mid Puck. But Razor has been, like I said, I mean, for the troll warlord, the Razor has been being picked up. Then you see heroes like Medusa, so very interesting to see. I think you're talking about it and how Medusa has kind of come in to this mid lane role where you just kind of exchange farm with the other mid lane and just build into that late game, and also having the ability to fight early just because of those red band pickups. So anyway, until we get the game on screen, so I'll just walk you guys through the draft for the moment. So on the side of bans in terms of NA Bedtime Samurais, we have Beastmaster being banned, we have Axe being banned, we have Grimstroke being banned, and Timbersaw being banned on the side of NA Bedtime Samurais. And on the side of Indomitus, Magnus being banned, Magnus being one of those really strong heroes just because of the fact that it allows to enable your melee carry. So usually it is a melee carry. Obviously you have either Juggernaut just because of Omnistash and having the cleave with it. PA is another extremely powerful threat with the Magnus, obviously, because the Empower and the cleave, and just having that coup de grace. I think it's called coup de grace if I'm not mistaken. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. So that cleave damage is definitely a threat as well. So we're banning out Lich. Like I said, I think Seeker plays a really good Lich. He's very comfortable.
That just so strong. This patch has such a high win rate in a lot of the professional games recently. It just has so much utility and so much pressure in instant sort of disable, and you can always catch people off. Yeah, the gaze. Sinister gaze.
Sinister gaze. So anyway, then coming back to the next few bans, we have a Tinker ban, obviously one of Panda's most played, one of his signature heroes. So I think that's just being safe, making sure that Panda does not have an amazing game, knowing that he's really well versed in the Tinker, knows how to play. So knows how to play with that Tinker, whether he's ahead or behind, and knows not really sure about that. But anyway, coming to the picks, NA Bedtime Samurais have gone with the Wyvern as well as Phantom Assassin. So I do like the first pick, Wyvern. It just kind of denies the pick for Hawkeye in a sense, because usually it is pretty good in the hands of Hawkeye. I mean, he's really good on this Wyvern. He's definitely a threat. He has so much he knows how to control the game with that hero, and it's so amazing. Even during the laning stage, the way he plays, it's amazing to watch. Really good way to learn and just kind of improve your own game. So PA, just because of the fact that PA has been very popular pick in this patch. I mean, it's very fast paced, and PA doesn't really need that much. I mean, one Desolator is enough to kind of one shot, two shots, even the supports.
But that's only if you get it at a decent time. Like even if you get a Desolator a little bit later into the game, it's not as good as it might seem. But early in the game, yeah, I do agree. But getting that Desolator earlier, especially if you have a Magnus, but they don't have a Magnus right now, so can't really talk about that. So he probably needs the Battle Fury, and with that new blink change to PA's second skill, she just farms so fast, and that it's very, very hard to stop her from farming if she gets that Battle Fury. She clears the camp so quickly, she can use Blur to farm lanes and not get caught.
And that's the other thing, right? I mean, the Blur invisibility is so good, because earlier, like, if you catch a PA, if you have enough magic burst, you can kind of, just burst him down and get rid of him. But he has a lot of, on top of his evasion, he also has invisibility, and that itself adds a layer of protection for the PA as a safe lane carry.
Yeah, but it's not invisibility. Just 1 second of you can't see her for not even almost a second. So it's not that bad if you can time your spell. Like at the start, it was very frustrating because we didn't know how it worked. But I think players have adapted after a few playing a few games with the PA and stuff. I think it's fine now. People know how the PA is going to react. They know how she's going to use the skill. So you can always predict that now, and it's not too bad.
So interesting enough, we see NA Bedtime Samurai is picking up Huska. So I'll get to the Huska pick to you in a bit, but just want to talk about the picks on the side of Indomitus. We have the Tusk, which has been very I mean, it's been picked quite often, even in the minor. I mean, I think it's a bit confusing to know exactly what kind of build you want to go with Tusk right now. I mean, right now it's like, if you want to get a value point in shards, but it's Snowball and Tag Team during the landing stage, because Tag Team is amazing spell, especially if you have a good, ranged hero or anyone who can right click within that range because of the slow as well as the bonus damage that you get. Jakiro being one of those really strong laning supports. I mean, has a lot of harass with Liquid Fire as well as dual breath. The damage over time is really strong. on the Jakiro. Pagna, one of those, I just do not like this hero. He's so strong if you play him right. He's good at taking towers, he's good at bursting heroes, he has good survivability with Decrepify, so if you do not have magic burst, which bedtime samurais are currently lacking, this Pagna will have a pretty free game, unless he makes some sort of a huge mistake. Other than that, I think the Pagna will be relatively safe, unless he gets unfortunate enough to get one shot by the dagger, but we'll have to wait and see until how that goes.
I think
Brewmaster has been a really good pick, I think.
it's
A lot
okay.
of control,
It's okay.
and it's a strong.
It's not too
just
strong.
It's not
okay.
like it's not super strong, but
Yeah.
the Brewmaster split is always good, just
Yeah.
because you turn 5 versus 5 fights into 4 versus 5. If you know how to micro properly, and obviously we know players of this caliber, I think we will be seeing that coming out. And the Phoenix being picked up by Bedtime Samurais, they really don't have anything to deal with the Phoenix
Yeah.
as of yet.
I
If he
think
does get a few
what
levels.
Indominus has done is that they've played around the Wyvern a lot. They've picked heroes that Wyvern can't really do too much against. They have the Pugna, they have the Jakiro, they have the Tusk, a lot of damage that can deal with the Wyvern, and Wyvern isn't really going to do much against them unless the Tusk has tag team and they're all together. Then then they'll probably die, but that's probably won't happen. So they're playing around the Wyvern, but they kind of didn't play around the Phoenix. The Phoenix is a decent pick right now, but the Indominus still has one pick which they can use to deal with the Phoenix.
Yeah, I mean,
well.
Troll is still open, but I think when Phoenix eggs, and if there's anything else around, I think Troll just aggroes one of the creeps around it and not the egg.
Yeah.
So that is definitely a problem. And now the fact that Troll ulti does not give anyone else attack speed, so they do have Juggernaut available.
Juggernaut's not
might
bad.
be okay here.
Juggernaut's
But
okay.
what I wanted to ask you was, what do you think about the Husker pick?
The Husker pick's okay. I think it's sort of he'll win the lane, sort of. I think he'll be able to win the lane pretty well if he does know how to play around the Pugna Blast and everything. But just winning the lane isn't going to be enough, I feel like they have to have Husker needs to be able to make space for them and be able to deal with the push coming from Indominus early in the game. And I don't think Husker can do that with no items. He needs a few items, and he's a hero that kind of, unless he gets kills, he's not going to get too many items because he doesn't have a farming mechanic. So if he doesn't have a good game, I think it's going to be really hard for Bedtime Samurais to deal with the push coming from Indominus because of the Pugna, the Jakiro, and just the aggression from the Tusk and the Panda, especially since I think this is a offlane Panda as well, so he's going to get a level 6, and they're just going to push. I mean, it's going to be hard.
Yeah. So interesting enough, they do pick up the Slark. I think this. I'm not sure whether. I mean, those days you used to be able to Icarus dive out of leash, but now since it works as a route, I don't think you can anymore. So it's a good last pick, and obviously when you do get a few of those perma stacks after getting a few kills, it does give you enough attack speed to deal with the egg, and also because you can purge off that attack speed slow with Dark Pact, so that is definitely going to be beneficial. Interesting to see the last pick Ogre there. I think just working in synergy with that PA when you have the Bloodlust. It is probably going to be an offlane Phoenix with +1, so we'll have to wait and see. And alright, so we'll be getting into game extremely shortly, but just talking about the tournament itself. I mean, it's been long running. I mean, we just finished up the online qualifiers as well. I think there are a lot of teams that took part, and it was really interesting to see the turnout. And end of the day, we do see the top 4 teams in the country currently fighting for this #1 place. So Abdul, I believe you had the opportunity to take part in basically you went through the experience. So I think you'll be the ideal person to walk everyone through exactly what it is like to just win and head on to that tournament abroad.
Yeah, it was very exciting. It was a new experience, especially for all of us. It's something that you wouldn't imagine usually, going to another country and playing Dota, and just having such a good time in another country and having the opportunity to get that. So I think this is a huge opportunity for the people in Sri Lanka to be able to experience such high level of gaming and to be able to focus and put so much of their hard work to good use, and having to experience something that everybody's gonna really enjoy if they do get first place here. So it was very yeah. And Azman, I just wanted to talk to you about how do you think this affects the gaming scene in Sri Lanka?
I mean, in my opinion, I think it's definitely a great way to broaden our horizon, in a sense where, you know, we play at a certain level here in Sri Lanka. I'm not saying that it's I'm not saying that our level of Dota is bad, but there is so much more that we can improve on and learn. I mean, there's always room to improve. And you know, when you have an opportunity to go abroad and go up against other top tier teams, especially, you know, likes of top 100 tier players, you know, the Immortal top 100, their skill level, their team synergy, the way they play, their knowledge on the game, how to move around the map, how to, you know, draft which heroes and how they should play it, you know, laning stage, aggro, all these things are at a different level than what we are currently, you know, at. And we can't, because, you know, when one team has been on the top for a long time, you know, as Sri Lankans we aspire to be like them, but we can, you know, always strive to be better. And that's why I think, you know, even just being able to experience or even spectating or watching a higher game play, you know, shows just how much room as that we can grow as Dota players in the country.
I think we need a lot more tournaments like this to kind of improve our level of Dota, to kind of match their sort of level, because the more we play against each other here, we're gonna get good, but we're not playing against people that are even better than the top team in Sri Lanka. So having tournaments like this exposes us to an audience and players that are much better than us and that can teach us more and how to be better at Dota.
No, I mean, like, as a default, right? So as default, when you see a certain player who plays at a certain skill level, you aspire to be like him. But when that player goes through an experience where, you know, he goes abroad and takes, like, in the country he's the best player, but when he goes outside of the country and he faces someone who is even better than him, it motivates him to get even better. Then our own standards of trying to catch up to this certain individual in Sri Lanka, or the individuals or team in Sri Lanka, it basically it widens. And then, you know, the more they get better, the more we want to get better. And then, you know, as long as there's constant improvement, I think that is where we can shine with the experience that we get from these kind of tournaments.
And I think we're gonna be going into the game a little.
We'll be getting into game in a little bit, but I really like to see just talk about the setup itself. But I would think I'm not too well versed. With the, you know, the technicalities and stuff. So that's definitely one thing. But anyway, let's just get into the teams. I think we have 4 teams. So we currently have 4 teams, and as you can see, you know, you have the Premier League Shield, and it looks amazing. I think, you know, I think it's probably one of the better trophies I've seen, to be honest. It looks really, really, really cool.
It's super impressive, the way the design and just the way it looks.
And this is just for the Sri Lankan qualifier. So imagine what the actual trophy that, you know, in the abroad tournament will be like.
I think since last year, since in Indonesia it was kind of similar to this, it was obviously a little bit better than this, but maybe they'll improve it and make an even better trophy.
No, I mean, maybe, but you know, it's definitely impressive. I mean, it looks extremely godly in a sense.
It's something that you usually just see trophies at other tournaments. And they said they've bought a new sort of you know, side to this, where they bring a shield.
Like usually you think, you know, there's a hilt, you know, there's like a normal stand-up trophy, you know, and then seeing something like a shield that resembles, you know, the Aegis in a sense. I mean, not exactly like the Aegis, but you know, it's like,
maybe it's a Vanguard.
It's a Vanguard, yes, I guess. Or Crimson Guard. Oh no, this is a Vanguard.
The other one might be Crimson Guard. Is like the plate.
Maybe if it had spikes around it.
Maybe.
Blade.
No, not Blade.
Wait, how does the shield become Blade?
Not Blade. Well.
That's definitely going to be interesting. That's
not
actually
yes. It's a Vanguard. Let's keep that.
Let's keep it Vanguard for the moment. So anyway, just coming back to the draft right now. I think our last pick was a Slark. So overall, who do you favor in the draft?
I kind of favor Indomitus in this. I think if they apply the right pressure with this lineup, they can obviously do a lot a lot of pushing and get a lot of work done.
Yeah, I think pushing will come down to how the Pagna lanes, I guess. I think the Pagna will probably go up against the Huska unless they want to change around the lanes. It'll be interesting to see. But anyway, it'll be interesting to see. I think the laning stage will tell us everything that we need to know about how the game will go. As everyone knows, the more lanes you win, the better the game goes for you in that mid game. Unless we Sri Lankans do have our late game throws, the 40-minute throws, which is usually always happens in almost every single game. So we'll have to wait and see if it actually happens or not. But it's going to be interesting to see. I think if this PA has a good start, it will be interesting to see how the game goes. Just because of the fact that the one-shot potential is going to be pretty.
No, but the Slark is there for the PA. I think the Slark is going to be able to deal with this PA pretty well. I think the Slark last pick is a big problem for Bedtime Tamarais. It's going to be. It's like PA, even if she gets the Desolator and whatnot, Slark can always his kit is just really good against PA. So I mean, if the Wyvern is, if he gets some good curses off, I think this game's going to be pretty good for them. But getting level 6 on Wyvern and getting the kills is not going to be too easy.
Yeah, definitely. I think so. Anyway, I just want to do a quick introduction. So we have in search of Juliet, I think one of the best position 4 players in Sri Lanka playing that Tusk. We have, I believe, it looks like Toad Boss is actually playing the offlane Brewmaster, and we know that just through experience that this man is one amazing player. Whether he's playing in the mid lane or in the offlane, he's just so good at whatever hero he plays, and he puts so much time. He has so much dedication towards the game. And then obviously in the mid lane we have Mirzab, also known as Paradox. So he's also, I think he's currently one of the greatest Sri Lankan Dota players I have seen a long time. Long time meaning I haven't been around for a long time, but through my experience he's probably one of the best players that I've actually seen. And then we have Local Burning playing that Slack. I think I think you should know more than me. I think it's one of
his better heroes.
Yeah, so then you obviously have Hockey playing the Jakiro, and right now we actually see engagement onto the Ogre, and Ogre getting decently damaged. Sorry, my mistake. So looks like they are going to get aggressive.
Yeah, and I think just having these comfort picks on Indomitus is going to be super good for them, since having just Slark and Pugna's Tusk especially, all these heroes, it's gonna be it's pretty nice. I mean, you like to have your comfort picks in games, and I feel like it's the better sort of game. Draft in this scenario, especially with that Slark last pick. It just seems very like a very good last pick here.
Yeah, definitely we will have to wait and see how the laning stage goes for the Slark. We'll have to see whether the Ogre and the Phoenix will be able to pressure him enough, in the sense where he does not get that amazing start. So we do see a bit of a pause at the moment, so it just wants 1 second to fix a few hotkeys here and there. Alright, so good luck, had fun is the call. Anyway, just coming into the introductions for the side of Bedtime Samurais, we have Panda playing that Huska, which is not a hero that we see him play that often. We have Pawan or Intrek playing that Firebird. We have Sahan playing that Ogre Magi, and in the safe lane we have Seeker playing his Winter Wyvern. He's pretty good on the hero as well. And we have Vegito on that PA. He really likes his PA. Anyway, looks like we're going to get back into the game. So looks like we are going to get back into the game, and right now in the top lane looks like Ogre has been spotted out by Jakiro as well as Slark here. He's going to start running away. Doesn't take too much damage, so he's going to back off slowly, making sure that I don't know whether they want to get aggressive here or not. It's I'm not sure of how the setup is at the moment.
Of times, but he's gonna have decent time early in the game, I think. But Pugna will have a better time just pushing the lane, and Huska can't push back.
I think you come down to who harasses better, in a sense where I think if Huska can safely get off a few of those burning spears and burn off most of the region that Pagna does have, So being able to do that, I think will definitely give him a little bit of an edge, because if he lets the Pagna kind of bully him, he's going to keep getting decrepified and he's going to miss a decent amount of CS, which means that the Pagna himself is going to get a lot of CS as well as last hits. I mean, he's not going to have too much difficulty in that department, just because of the fact that he does have the Pagna blast. So as you can see, he's trying, but he's missing uphill, which is a bit unfortunate. And right now the mid lane is double wave right now, so that's going to be a lot of experience going the way of the Pagna here.
Yeah, and I think these lanes are going to go kind of okay. The Tusk has tag team, and with the Panda, they are going to do quite a bit of harass onto the safe lane of bedtime samurais, but I think they're going to be able to farm decently. Getting kills is not the easiest thing in a Wyvern lane. Also in the top lane with the Phoenix Ogre, it's not the best kill combo lane. So I think the lanes are going to be very static in this.
I mean, as long as they can manage the distance in the bot lane, where they keep a certain distance between the PA, the Brewmaster and the Tusk. Because if the Tusk and the Brewmaster get on top of PA with tag team, it doesn't matter whether Winter Wyvern uses his spells or not, because you can always just run her down. Especially in the early levels where you can get a little bit aggressive. And right now tag team coming out from the Tusk, gonna start right clicking the PA a little bit, exchange a little bit of his health for that for a little bit of damage. And right now moving quite aggressively is the Tusk, but right now in the mid lane I think both the heroes are sitting at level 3, so just keeping an eye on the bot lane, I think. Okay, so it looks like nothing much is really happening. How is the top lane doing? Oh, they actually get the shards off. Here comes the tag team. Will they chase the PA is the question. The ice shard is there. The tag team is still out. Now he's going to start trading with the Tusk here. Tusk going to get slowed down here by the Wyvern. Will they commit for the kill is the question. Looks like Brewmaster is there, so he's going to get daggered as well on the Tusk, but he's going to manage to get out. Meanwhile, in the top lane, it looks like Ogre is managing to zone the Jakiro quite well, but Jakiro can always turn and use some of his spells. He does have that. If he wants to, he can obviously get a level in I think it's called I can't remember what his third skill is called.
Liquid Fire.
Alright, so Liquid Fire does not cost him mana. Meanwhile in the bot lane, PA does manage to pop his stick. He's going to start fighting up against the Tusk here, getting pretty low. Okay, nice one pop coming out from the Tusk. Tag team available once again. One more hit onto the PA. The PA actually dies to the Brewmaster, and the Tusk actually managed to get the kill off on the Wyvern. So that's a 2-for-0 exchange. Didn't the first player pop up?
No, I didn't notice it. But anyway, I think they shouldn't be playing so aggressive in this lane. It's a Tusk Panda, and they shouldn't try to get kills on them, like especially early level. He did drop low and everything, but I think they should have just tried to play passive there, because they wouldn't have died if they just got back there.
No, I feel like something that as players, it's like a very fundamental thing, but very few people actually do it. But just keeping track of one charges. Like knowing that your enemy has this amount of, because it shows, right, when you click on your enemy, it shows how much one charges he has. And right in that moment, the reason that they got outplayed was just because of the fact that Tusk had a max 10 stick, if I'm not mistaken.
He had a 7 stick.
Yeah, 7. Okay, so 7. So it's pretty decent amount. And then the PA committed for the kill. And then once she saw that, he was okay, he sticked. And meanwhile, once again, the PA getting quite low. Ice shards coming out, just a few more hits. Crit coming out from Brewmaster, one more hit, and the PA is going to go down once again. That tag team really showing its effect, even with Blink Strike. Wyvern not having the tools to assist the PA there in that scenario, so it's a feels bad moment for them there. But PA going down once again. I do not believe he'll have to do the walk of shame, if I'm not mistaken, because he did previously.
Meanwhile, top lane, the Phoenix actually goes down, and the Ogre might go down as well here, trying to get being chased.
So Ogre currently running away from the Jakiro here, going to get that Liquid Fire off onto the Ogre. He's going to take a little bit of damage, but looks like he will be fine. But getting that kill on the Phoenix is definitely a worthy trade for them for sure. Stark is going to heal up as well using that salve. And once again, I think Stark is definitely going to have a really good time. I mean, so far both the top and the bot lane seem to be going really well for the side of Indomitus. I'm not sure exactly, we haven't really cabs of the mid lane.
I mean, the CS is even, so it seems like it's going to be just a farming sort of game for both teams.
Yeah, I think it will come down to how effectively they can move around with this Huska. I think just taking his early game presence into consideration, especially once he hits level 6, once he gets that armlet as well. So right now we see engagement in the top lane. He does manage to leash the Phoenix managing to dive, use Icarus dive out, and now a TP coming in from the Wyvern here. Ogre is extremely low, gonna manage to stun the Stark. Stark is really low, gonna use the Dark Pact, and he's gonna manage to get out on no health at all. Jakiro trying to finish off the kill onto the Ogre, but Ogre being so tanky, it's actually very difficult. Salving up is the Ogre, and now Jakiro turning onto the Wyvern. Phoenix actually goes down to the Jakiro, getting caught with that dual breath there, so that's definitely going to be a worthy trade for them. Even though they did manage to bring down the Jakiro, managing to bring down both the offlane Phoenix as well as the Ogre is going to be much more beneficial. And obviously now PA is 100% going to get pressure just because of the fact that they have the information that Wyvern TP to the top lane.
Yeah, I think that's like one of the hardest things for Bedtime Samurai to deal with now, that the supports have to rotate away from the safe lane, and PA is not going to have a good it's very difficult to play this game, I think, for the PA.
So right now in the mid lane we see a nice jump coming in from Husker. Will it be enough to bring down the Pagna? Pagna manages to TP out. Will he tick down from the damage is the question.
No,
safe. Okay, so he's perfectly fine. So I did not know, apparently you can use Husker's ult to purge off.
It's a mini. Yeah,
we purge off everything. Okay, that's interesting.
It's a basic dispel, so it doesn't purge off everything, but
okay,
it does purge off
dispel.
something.
Okay, so obviously. Oh, mini BKB. Okay, mini BKB. Okay, so that's
a basic dispel. Yeah,
basic dispel. So obviously I have the Dota wiki with me.
Not a strong dispel, but it's a basic dispel.
No, it's fine. It's completely fine because I have the Dota wiki with me, so I have no issue at all. Finding out all the information that I need.
Sashika is not the Dota wiki.
No, I meant you. I meant you, not Sashika. Excuse me. Blink strike coming out from the PA. Will they dive? Ice Shots does not connect. Manages to get out of that one. So close call coming out for the PA, but Wyvern managing to save the PA there with that cold embrace. A really good play. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, looks like they're going to make an aggressive movement onto the onto the Jakiro here. Jakiro going to get Huska ulted, and that's going to be a double kill. Managed to bring down the Pagna as well. So that's definitely the start that you want on that one positive lane that you have, and you can see the impact of the Huska coming in. So what do you think? I think how much stronger do you think the Stark needs to get to deal with this Huska?
I think the Stark's already having a good game. He just needs to keep farming and he'll be fine. They don't need to even deal with the Huska for now. I think once the Panda has split, which he does.
Okay, meanwhile we see a pounce onto the Ogre here. Ogre might go down, managed to get down there, get the stun, but looks like Stark might want to commit into this. He's trying to go onto the Phoenix here, does not have another leash, taking a little bit of damage from the Dark Pack, but manages to quickly drop one of his red bands and use that one. So really efficient play coming out from him. He does have that level 6, so he does heal when he is not in vision with that Shadow Dance. So meanwhile we see an aggressive movement being made by the Brewmaster here. It looks like the Tusk as well as the Brew is here. That tag team going to do a lot of damage. Going to chase so much space being created by the Tusk there.
Yeah, the PA just not farming that entire time. Huskar kind of went away and he realized that that's not going to be a kill, so he just went and farmed mid lane, tried to get a kill on the Jakiro but didn't get it in the end. So he did get a little bit of farm during that, but PA just chasing for the longest time, and it's kind of harsh for the PA in this situation to chase like that and not get anything from it.
Yeah, I mean definitely. I think even Wyvern's first skill, the slow was off cooldown, so that made it a bit difficult for them to kind of pursue in the chase. And just the PA, just the fact that the PA does not even have level 6 yet, you don't get those crit procs. Maybe if he had that, he might have been a little bit more luckier with the kill. It comes down to RNG in the end, but I think just a lot of time wasted and a lot of space created for the Stark, who had been farming that entire time, as well as the Pagna in the mid lane, while Bedtime Samurais were running around as 4 trying to get that kill.
Yeah, I think it's kind of around the time where I think Indomitus are going to start 5-manning and getting towers, or not 5-manning but 4-manning. Yeah, 4-manning and getting objectives, or maybe even 3-manning and getting a few kills while this Pagna pushes another lane. So that's going to happen for sure sometime soon. You can see the towers are already pretty low in all the lanes. They just need to kind of secure it, and then they'll be fine with it. And then they'll start.
So it looks like they're going to make a go into the bot lane. They try to use a snowball. They actually get onto the Ogre here. Ogre going to take so much damage from this tag team, but nice TP in coming out from the Wyvern here. Going to buy some time for the Ogre. Going to use that Winter's Curse. Doesn't do really too much. And the Tusk once again splitting away from the Brewmaster, trying to split their focus. The Jakiro is there. Going to get the Ogre with the dual breath. Here comes the Husker. Husker going to get that kill on the Jakiro. He is dominating. What happened to the Tusk? The Tusk actually goes down, and who does he go down to? So the task actually goes down to both the Ogre as well as the Wyvern. So that is definitely beneficial, but in the meantime the Pugna already starting to work on the mid T2 because of the amount of space being created by the rest of his heroes, and obviously not to even mention the Slark that is he's just somewhere, you know, farming up all his items in the world, and he's going to probably show that impact sometime soon.
Yeah, I don't think sometime soon, to be honest. I think he's just going to keep farming for quite a while until he gets maybe.
When you think you want to start fighting as a Slark?
Once they start getting, you know, vision in the jungle, which they need to start getting the map towards them. So they need to start first taking the tier 1 towers, and then they need to start staying in their jungle and
meanwhile,
making sure.
Snowball on the bot lane. Looks like Tassi is trying to make a chase onto the Wyvern here. They do still see him. The Brewmaster coming in as well. He's really fast right now. Does he have his ultimate available? He should have it from that last engagement. They're going to run into the Wyvern here. He does not have that ability to TP out, and looks like the Wyvern is going to go down. So much damage being taken by that tag team, and now jumping in on the Tusk here is the PA, and the Tusk is going to just TP away back to base, and right now Split is going to be used by the Brewmaster there to escape from the Huskar. Going to be cycloned up in the air. Meanwhile, looks like the Pugna has managed to find the Ogre, and a pounce being missed by the Slark there. Ogre now creating a little bit of space for his team. Does the rest of the people have come in? Here comes the Phoenix. He's going to dive, use all his spirits. TP away coming from the Slark, I believe. Yes, the Slark TPs away, and so does the Brewmaster. There is no way to cancel his TPs, and that is going to be a good engagement for the side of Indomitus. They're managing to bring down the Ogre as well as the Wyvern previously.
Yeah, it was okay because the fact that they didn't get any objectives from it, they used Split, they rotated the Slark. He wasn't farming during that time. Pugna rotated, everyone rotated. Nobody got much out of it, but Indomitus didn't get any objectives out of it. So I think it was okay, especially for the side.
Meanwhile, jumping coming out from the Huskar onto the Pugna here, but he's going to decrepify. Nice Winter's Curse coming out from the Wyvern in the last second there. They're probably going to be able to get this kill maybe. He's going to get decrepified. He's standing in the Macropie. He does not give two hoots. He's going to start fighting the Shakiro as well. Mega kill streak. Unstoppable is the Huskar, and is not even close to dying. What a hero.
Yeah, I think that's really good for the side of
but what an amazing Winter's Curse that was. That was such a clutch timed Winter's Curse coming
good knowing where to stand and where to be on the map for Seeker, playing really well there.
So hopefully looks like Bedtime Samurais will get their first objective here in this mid T1 tower.
And getting such an important tower also, I think it's very important.
Surprisingly enough, one thing I'm surprised about is the fact that Brewmaster and Tusk did really well in the bot lane, but the tower is still standing, so that's definitely a positive for the side of Bedtime Samurais. Meanwhile, going onto the Huskar here, going to use the disarm, once again jumping in onto the Tusk here. Nice Cold Embrace coming out from the Winter Wyvern. Will it be enough to save the Huskar though? Huskar does have the armlet toggle. He's going to start working onto the Jakiro. The Tusk does not go down, but the Jakiro will probably go down to the Burning Spears. The Stark, actually Hockey gets the kill onto the Jakiro, onto the Huskar here, and Pugna actually saving the Jakiro with life draining his ally. So that's a really heads up play coming out from the Pugna as well, and as you can see, the timing has come for Indomitus, and they're starting to make their move. Looks like they're going to try and go in onto the Tusk here, going to get onto the Ogre, going to get the leash, and looks like he's going to go down. Meanwhile, Phoenix coming in as well, not going to be able to get his egg off, going to get changed. The Slark going to use Shadow Dance. He's TPing. Will they have time to stun him? No, they will not. And really heads up play coming out from the Slark there. No way to stop him there. Really heads up play, managing to get another tower for the side of Indomitus, and even more map control. Bedtime Samurai slowly getting crippled inside their own half of the map, so it's not looking good for them so far.
Yeah, they have nothing to deal with this push. Like, they have nothing to deal with, Slark. If they use their spells on anyone other than Slark, I think he has just a free game, because there's nothing to control the Slark in this game. Like, they have egg, but if he focuses the egg, then egg's gone very fast. Since he's underleveled on Phoenix, he needs his level 3 egg for it to be any good in this game, it feels like, after this start. And Bruce Split is gonna remove someone from the fight. So many things can happen in these fights, and I think that Nubulines, Bedtime Samurais really needs to stop dying all the time. Not all the time, but especially like that, like they did, because they gave up they were on such a good on a streak, getting kills. Huskar was okay. Yeah, Huskar dies is fine, but you can't keep giving kills after Huskar and then losing the T3 like that. It's so much map control. It's just like, because of that move, like, Slark could go bottom, they could push all 3 lanes with 3 different cores just because of that move, and then that gives so much farm for the Dire team, individual farm, whereas the Radiant team doesn't really have anywhere to farm right now. Everywhere feels very, very scary, you know. They could be anywhere on the map, especially if the lanes are pushed.
Yeah, definitely. I think, you know, like you said, there's a lot of opportunity for Indomitors to get what they need, especially on their cores, you know, give them that ability to kind of, you know, just do whatever that they want, you know, just gain control, have the information that they need. If they want to be aggressive, they have all that information. If they want to play a bit more safer and get a few more items on the Slark, they can do that as well. But right now, Bedtime Samurai is not doing, I mean, they were doing pretty well until that one whole chain of events, I guess, and right now looks like the Husker is trying to pressure this bot T1 tower. It's going to get glyphed. Looks like they want to make an aggressive movement onto this Brewmaster. They do not know where he is at the moment right now, so Husker is going to go back to controlling. But right now you see the Pagna as well as the Slark. They're starting to you know, bring down this shrine. And also the T2 tower is being taken down by the Jakiro from range, obviously using the cart as well. So really good timings coming out from them. Decrepify as well as Pagna Blast coming out onto the Ogre. Ogre gonna get stuck in the shards. The tower goal gets denied actually. In comes the Brewmaster. Here comes Thunderclap, and he's gonna go down. Nice leash coming out onto the Wyvern. Nice curse to counter it. Here comes the egg from the Phoenix here. Will it be able to pop in time? Husker is there. Is he going to be able to jump anyone is the question. The egg does not stun anyone, and really short-lived Icarus dive. We're going to start focusing the Husker. Husker going to get control quite a bit. The Wyvern is not there to assist him there, and the Phoenix as well as the Husker are going to go down. This should be another high ground push. Actually, one more being controlled. I believe it was a PA being controlled there. He's going to blink strike onto one of the Brewmaster, the split bears, but he's going to go down immediately. 42 seconds on the sideline. Wyvern is going to get drained by the Pagna, and he's going to go down as well. So Ogre just responding, and that is a really well coordinated fight coming out from Indomitors. It is a team wipe, and now they're going to start doing a lot of damage to this barracks.
Yeah, I think they're going to take the barracks for sure, and I think it's just very hard with just this Slug. They cannot deal with the Slug when the Slug just jumps in front of everyone, and they have to curse him, and even with the curse and the egg, it wasn't enough to do anything. Didn't give anything. So I just think this was very good draft coming out from Indomitors, and they did play the lanes well as well. They won most of the lanes other than the mid lane. They kind of won the mid lane, but then after a few kills, it was clear that the Husker did triumph in that lane. But it looked like it was enough for a little while, but then when you're that behind, you cannot.
I think they were doing decently well until that whole you know, mid lane engagement really happened, and then, you know, up where the Husker died and everyone it just died in chain succession. That really crippled them. I think
especially the Slark killing the Husker there. Like, as soon as you know that a hero can kill you on the map, it's very difficult to play your hero. Like, if you're a Husker and you know that the Slark, and it seems like there's been a disconnect here. Try to resume the game.
Yeah, so anyway, like you said, I mean, you know, even though the Husker had a good like, he was unstoppable, right, to a certain extent. And I saw the armlet which came out really early. I think just because of the fact that he was rotating around so much, he lost so much downtime to where he could, you know, get those items that he needs and then start, you know, being that frontliner for the team.
Yeah, the thing is, that's all he can do right now. He itemized to sort of carry the mid game with the armlet and the halberd, but he doesn't do that much damage, and they don't really have the damage to bring down Slark. The PA is the one who's supposed to bring down Slark, but PA is not that good against Slark. So this Slark pick just seems like, you know, a trap. Like, they can't do anything against it unless they time the Ogre stun really well with the maybe, you know, the Icarus, I'm sorry, the Phoenix.
No, but even then, like, even if PA just goes in, I mean, there's so much for, you know, them to
control,
to burst him down. I mean,
and not even burst. Let's say he had a BKB, right? Even if he had a BKB, they still can't kill the Slark because he just uses his ultimate Shadow Dance, and then you know.
I don't think you want to. I think you want to let. I think Slark is obviously focusing on the Husker. I think you want to let Husker try to bait out the Slark ultimate, but I don't know whether. I mean, they can buy a little bit of time with Cold Embrace. But end of the day, I think with the PA, you just want to kind of focus on getting down, you know, bringing down the supports, you know, the people you can burst really fast and take them out of the fight.
But
you know,
you can't burst anyone here.
Yeah, that's the issue. That's the issue, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, in a perfect world, that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
But, you know,
like, the thing is, Jakiro is very tanky, especially if he gets a few items like like what he has, right? I mean, his strength gain's decent, right? It's not like a Witch Doctor or something. And Tusk, anyway, he's tanky. Brewmaster is tanky. Can't kill Slark. Can't kill Pokemon because of Decrep, you know. So
a lot of issues, basically. A lot of issues. But anyway, looks like Aegis was claimed by the team in Indomitus, and they did. I think they put it onto the Slack here. So looks like they might be making their movement for the last set of.
Look at how the Slack is playing now.
Slack is literally just going in. I mean,
he really does not care.
No fear at all. I mean, they have so much regen for him.
Even if he's getting low, he just gets life drained from the Pugna, and then he's fine again. Like, Pugna is not too worried about his life. He just needs to decrep, put the ward down, and heal someone, or either just pressure the tower.
Meanwhile, the Brewmaster actually blinking in, doing a decent amount of damage onto the Ogre. Ogre gonna get cold embrace. Here comes the split coming out from the Brewmaster here. Husker gonna be put up in the air. Meanwhile, no one else really committing. It's just the Brewmaster inside here, gonna try and focus down someone. Nice jump in coming in from the Stark here. Yules coming out from the Phoenix. He's going to have to egg immediately. He's going to actually Icarus dive and dive on the meantime. Meanwhile, Ogre also goes down. He's going to manage to buy back here. Jumping in onto the Jakiro is the Husker. Husker going to use the disarm as well. Make sure that he gets this Jakiro kill. But looks like he is probably going to go down. Here comes the life drain. He does have a buyback available if he wants to use it. Meanwhile, on the sidelines, the Wyvern actually gets control and he's going to go down. Both of them do have buyback, but looks like they're deciding not to use it. And GG is called by the Wyvern. I mean, by the side of Bedtime Samurais, and that is going to be PNX Indomitus moving on to the grand finals here at the Acer Predator League 2019.
And the way they fought that is that they made the Brewmaster jump in. They went on the Ogre. They forced them to use egg because they actually used egg too early. He used egg. And they just let the Brewmaster split take everything, and everybody left. And then as soon as the egg, it went down, they just got into the base and started killing everyone.
I mean, the Slark, he just jumped in and then he got like
he got
a bash. He got a leash, had a bash onto the Phoenix, and then I think he had liquid fire, dual breath on him, and he just died while diving. That's actually very difficult to say really fast. Died while diving. Okay, I can say it. Okay, never mind. My bad. I mean, I'm not a rapper or anything, but it's very difficult to say.
Maybe.
But anyway, I think coming up next we have the game versus Victoria's Secret and Death Sentence, if I'm not mistaken. So that is going to be an extremely interesting game to say. So I think we spoke about Sri Lanka teams with their 40-minute throws, and we had the king of 40-minute throws, which is Satan, as mentioned by Terra. So we'll wait and see how that game goes. It's definitely going to be an interesting one to see for everyone at home. But anyway, we'll be taking a short break, and we'll be back with the DOTA action in a little bit.